9, and for the fourth consecutive year under head coach Tim Shanahan, made it into the semifinal round in the CUNYAC tournament before dropping a tough game against Brooklyn College, and then to start the 2016 season, they went in and played Division I Wagner College, and the Dolphins fell behind early in that game. Mike fell behind by as many as 14 points, but behind Samantha Flecker's 18 points and Angelique Price 15, they were able to come all the way back and actually pull ahead and have an opportunity to win at the end of that game.
Yeah, they really did, and that was a big part of that third quarter. I mean, they were down 36-22 at the half, scored 20 points in the third quarter to take a 1-point lead. Even had a lead as late as the fourth quarter with 48.3 seconds to go. Unfortunately, they just could not find a way to pull away. The Wagner got a couple of fouls go their way at the end, and they found a way to pull it out 62-60. But I think what you take away from that game, Mike, is that this team has, one, some very good young depth. They also are a team that is starting to gel and starting to come together, and I think that's going to pave the way for a very good season for Tim Shanahan's club throughout this season.
Yeah, Mike, the Dolphins led in that game by as many as 5 with just over 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And, it was a couple of big three-pointers in that game by Wagner College at, really inopportune time for the Dolphins that kept them in that game. And then in the closing minute, a tough foul called against Rosa Perone, and it put Wagner on the line for 2 free throws, and Tanisha Russell, who really came up big at the end of the game for Wagner College, was able to bury both of those free throws and give Wagner a lead that they would never relinquish. And so the Dolphins lost a tough one by 2 points, and really puts a little bit more emphasis on the home opener, Mike. The Dolphins not wanting to get off to an 0-2 start this season.
No, you never want to get off to an 0-2 start. And if you take a look at the conference right now, I know it's early in the season. Brooklyn 1-0 to start the year. No one has played any conference games yet, but really everybody is pretty much in the same boat, either 0-1 or, in the case of Medgar Evers, 0-2. Everyone's just trying to get their season started here in 2016-17. So if you're the Dolphins, you want to come out here, home opener, get a win, and get moving on the right foot here in the season.
Yeah, so, let's spend a few minutes, Mike, looking at this CSI Dolphin team, of course, led by the return of Christina Passatoro and Samantha Flecker. The Dolphins looking for big things from both of those players. And, really good news for the Dolphins. Victoria Cray, who missed the entire season last year with a tough knee injury, back for the Dolphins, and played very well in the game against Wagner College. And Dolphins certainly happy to have Victoria back in the fold this year.
Yeah, they are, and I think that's one thing I like about this team is the veteran leadership that's still a part of this club, transitioning from last year now to this year. And you hit it on the head. I think Passaturo and Flecker are going to be the two keys to this offense. Everything's going to roll through them. They are the ones who have to score in big situations. They're the ones who are going to be looked upon to get the big buckets in big spots down the stretch of a first half, of a fourth quarter. So they're both going to be huge. And I'm looking to see what Craig can do with this team this year. I was very impressed with her defense in that game against Wagner the other day.
Yeah, and Passatoro returning to the Dolphins this year, Mike, the leading scorer for CSI last year, averaging 18 points a game, over 6 rebounds and over 6 assists, and really playing well for the Dolphins last year, having to move to point guard right before the beginning of the season after Victoria Cray suffered that leg injury, and really developed as a point guard, and now with an opportunity to kind of move back into the number 2 shooting guard position here this year. And, of course, Samantha Flecker, now beginning to develop, and now one of the veteran leaders that the Dolphins are looking to this year. Samantha averaging over 15 points a game in the leading score for the Dolphins earlier against Wagner. And, Mike, the Dolphins look pretty small this year in terms of having size. They're going to need points from their guards, so going to put some pressure on Passatoro, Flecker, and Cray to get those points for CSI.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have to score, and they have to score or often in games. I think one thing that was a bit of a problem for them, especially early in that game against Wagner, was they didn't score enough. They only shot about, 24% in the first half, ended up shooting 28% for the game. they have to shoot much better in games. Certainly around 33, somewhere between 33 to 40% if they're going to have a really great offensive day.
And, Mike, two of the players that the Dolphins are going to be counting on and are going to get much more playing time and be much more important are going to be Angeline Price and Rosa Perone. Angelique had a very good game against Wagner College, scored a lot of early points for the Dolphins. Angelique only played about 14 minutes a game last year, and, her workload is certainly going to increase this year for the Dolphins as she played 33 minutes in that game against Wagner. And Rosa Perone, Mike, the only Dolphin player on the roster listed at over 5 foot 9 inches tall. So she's going to get a lot of minutes for the Dolphins in the middle as well.
Yeah, she will. Remember, last year they had 2 players over 6 feet. You also include Nicole Vierno last year, who was 6'1". So there is going to be a little more pressure on Rosa Perone to get the job done in the middle this year for the Dolphins. I think she can do it, and I think she'll get a little bit of help as well. I think that she can get a little more help as well from inside. Let's say from a couple of the 5'9" players like Bratchich at some point down the road. Of course, she is a freshman. She's still developing. I look at someone like a Jackie Callie. I know it's a guard, but again, 5'7", may have to come inside at some point to help out a little bit inside.
And, Mike, the Dolphins playing a Western New England team, a team that Dolphins have not played before, and, a little bit of a mystery there. But, you just look down the roster and, compared to this CSI Dolphin team, this Western New England team, a much larger club.
They are, and they're a very experienced club, and they run right through their senior Paige Young, the senior forward from Berlin, Connecticut. She's 5'10", and she right now leads the team in points and rebounds. She had a double-double in the first game of the year. She's averaging 17 points and 11 rebounds per game. She is someone that we have to watch here today, and also look out for Emily Anderson, another senior forward, 6 feet from Rocky Hill, Connecticut. She had 16 points in each of the first 2 games of the year for Western Connecticut. So they have a lot of size. They have a number of players over 5'7", certainly a good handful over 5'10" for that matter.
Yeah, and Western New England finishing last year with the identical record as the Dolphins at 19-11. They're coming into today's game with a record of 1-1 overall. They lost to Springfield in their opening game in double overtime, 83-75, before beating Emerson by 15 on Thursday night before driving down from Springfield to play the CSI Dolphins here this afternoon. And, Mike, a lot of excitement on this CSI Dolphin team here heading into the 2016 season. And, as we mentioned a little bit before in the pregame, last 4 years the Dolphins have made it to the semifinal round. No further, that the Dolphins are going to be looking for more here in 2016.
Yeah, they came very close last year, getting all the way to the conference championship last year. Ended up losing a tough one to Brooklyn last year. We were there, and they're going to try to see if they can find a way to persevere and win that championship this year.
Yeah, and, of course, for the CSI Dolphins, a lot of familiar names not here. Jamie Piffalo and Victoria Gallinero, of course, the starting backcourt for the Dolphins, both leaving the team, graduating this year. Actually, Victoria on the team as an assistant coach here in 2016. So the clock continuing to wind down. Just about 6 minutes or so remaining, Mike, until we get ready for the opening tip here. And while we have a minute, we should also mention that the men's basketball season started yesterday as well. And, they went down to Frederick, Maryland and played down there and actually led by 1 at the half, Mike, but in the second half it was a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, Salisbury just took off in that second half and was just a little bit too much for the Dolphins in that game. And the men's team is also in the transition, too, from a number of great players they had, like Will Fonseca, no longer with the team, obviously graduated. So it's going to be a lot on Kalik Baum and Shatino to get the job done for the men's team throughout this 2016-17 season to get this team back into the playoff contention, potentially a Kuniak championship.
Yeah, and another tough contest for the men here this afternoon as they'll face Cabrini at 2 o'clock, really at the same time that the women will be in action here this afternoon. So the men are going to really have to come up with a big effort here this afternoon, Mike, against a Cabrini team that's traditionally a very good club.
It'll be very interesting to see. Well, hopefully we'll get some updates throughout the course of the afternoon. We'll bring it to you.
Okay, so we have about 4 minutes or so remaining until we get ready for the start of the opening tip here this afternoon. While we step aside and take a break here, as you're listening and watching pregame coverage of the 2016 opening women's basketball game right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life. One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and Western New England. And, you know, Mike, why we have a minute or so before we get you the starting lineups for this afternoon's game, you know, give us just a little bit more of an opportunity to talk about the Dolphins' first game earlier this week against Wagner College. And, you know, they did a very good job. They didn't really turn the ball over that much in that game. Only 10 turnovers for the Dolphins in that game. And, you know, really did a pretty good job rebounding the basketball as well against a Wagner College team that had a little bit of size advantage on them too. And, you know, if you look to some of the concerns for the Dolphins, you know, they did turn the ball over a lot last year and had trouble rebounding the basketball. And for them to do that well in those categories had to be very encouraging for head coach Tim Shanahan.
Yeah, I agree. It truly should be. And I like the way they played in that game against Wagner, a Division I team, and to go out there and have the lead, have a chance to win that game, really says a lot about this club for Tim Shanahan. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they compete against not just their own conference, but teams throughout their schedule, including this very sizable and very good Western New England team.
So the players are lining up on the floor, and we're getting ready here to have the national anthem played before the players are introduced here this afternoon. So why don't we just step aside, listen to the anthem, and then we'll be back with the starting lineups of this afternoon's game.
I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me
And me.
help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash.
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's home opener between the College of Staten Island and Western New England. And before we get underway, let's bring you the starting lineups for today's game. And here to bring you those starting lineups, my broadcast partner, Michael Cohn. Mike?
Thank you, Mike. And let's give you the Western New England lineup, the visiting team here for today's ball game. We start off with the forward, Paige Young, wearing number 13. Followed by the forward, Emily Anderson, wearing number 35. Then the guard, number 5, Megan Gilhool. The guard, number 10, Sammy Batani. And number 14, another guard, Dorothy O'Neill. That is your starting lineup today for the Golden Bears of Western New England. Meanwhile, for the Staten Island Dolphins, the starting lineup for them today will feature Samantha Flecker, wearing number 31 forward. Then Rosa Perone, number 32. She is also listed as a forward. Guard number 2, Christina Passaturo. Then guard number 10, Angelique Price, and Victoria Cray. Guard number 14, making her first start at home in quite some time, Mike. She's going to get a chance to be part of the action again for the first time in a couple seasons.
Yeah, and the Dolphins really looking forward to having Victoria back in the lineup. She really is going to be the point guard for the club here this afternoon, and really frees up Christina Passatoro to work off the ball a little bit more, and also still be able to distribute the basketball. And she really improved in that area last year as she had an opportunity to move over to point guard. And Mike, we go back and we take a look at the game earlier this week against Wagner College, and the Dolphins really taking a lot of positives out of it, especially their ability to come back from down 14 earlier in the game.
It's something to build on, and even though you lose the game, it is the first game of the year. No one wants to ever start 0-1. At some point, you can always look at it glass half full. At some point, you're going to lose the game. At some point, you got to get that first loss out of the way. So if you lose the season opener, that's fine. You come back here, home opener, in front of a good crowd at home against a good opponent, and you refocus and get a win.
Yeah, and for the CSI Dolphins, Christina Passatoro and Samantha Flecker, both now in their third year, and both players, Mike, have been good for the Dolphins since their freshman year, but as they evolve into their junior year, Dolphins are going to be looking for more out of both of those players here this year.
Yeah, they're going to be the keys to everything for this Dolphins team. Like we talked about in the pregame show, a lot of the offense is going to revolve around them and how they score early and often in games.
And, you mentioned it a little bit earlier in the pregame show, Mike. Paige Young, 35 points through 2 games, averaging 17.5 points a game. And Emily Anderson, who's scored 16 in each of their games, playing only 22 minutes. 2 plays the Dolphins are going to have to keep an eye on.
It's going to be very tough. I mean, they do have a size advantage. Again, 8 players on that roster for Western New England, over 5'8".
Okay, so we're about ready to get underway as Perone will jump for the Dolphins, and the ball's going to be tipped back as Price tries to get it, and we're going to have a whistle, and she'll be called for a travel just 4 seconds in, so it'll be Golden Bear basketball.
And a good aggressive start for the Dolphins. Try to jump out early offensively on the press.
Batani with the basketball. Her pass is going to be tipped away, and now it'll be Passatoro for the Dolphins. Passatoro trying to work her way inside. She kicks it out in the corner to Price, and his three-pointer is good.
And that is a huge start right there, Mike. We see them get off to a quick start with Price taking the opening tip and getting down court, was hoping to kick it back outside, but ended up traveling. Then the quick turnover, and then the three by Price. Huge start there for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the delay is. I think the official going over to the scorer's table and going to change the possession arrow. As I believe what happened, Mike, Dolphins, I guess the question is who won the opening tip, and that way, and now which way should the possession arrow be set? And it looks like it's going to be set for Western New England, and it'll be their basketball. So it'll be Young looking to inbound the basketball as she gets the ball into Gilhool, and the Dolphins come out pressing in the backcourt to start the game. Gilhool, bounce pass goes over, and we're going to have a whistle on the play. And I didn't really see a signal out of the official there, Mike.
I didn't either. I'm assuming she walked, but there was no travel signal at all.
So it'll be Dolphin basketball here, just underway. 30 seconds in, and the Dolphins leading 3-0. As Cray, bounce pass goes over to Perrone. Perrone works her way inside. Her layup is up, no good. The ball bounces around. Price knocked down to the ground, and it'll be off Angelique, out of bounds, so it will be Golden Bear basketball. Batani looking to inbound the basketball now as she gets the ball into O'Neal. And now the Golden Bears look to set up offensively. Batani feeding the ball out at the three-point line to O'Neal. Now bounce pass goes up over to Anderson. Dolphins doing a nice job defensively here as the shot clock down to 10. Gilhool working it in the corner to Anderson. Anderson tries to work her way in. She's knocked down, and Craig comes away with the basketball for the Dolphins. Bounce pass comes up over to Flecker. Her short jumper is up, no good. Rebound put up by Perrone. That's no good. And now the Golden Bears control the rebound, and we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball. So interesting first minute and a half here, Mike, for both teams.
Yeah, very interesting first minute. And one thing that we did see is we saw Flecker and Perrone use their size, especially Perrone inside, to stop that offensive possession there as Anderson was charging in. Good job forcing the turnover, and Perrone keeping it going here offensively for the Dolphins. Although it looks like a stoppage is called here.
Yeah, or, it looked like some type of turnover, Mike, where somebody stepped on the line or the ball went out of bounds. So it'll be Golden Eagle basketball here, just one basket through the first 90 seconds. O'Neal getting the ball up over to Gilhool, and now we're going to have a travel. So both teams struggling a little bit offensively, Mike, here right to start this afternoon.
Yeah, they have. And Western New England has traveled a couple of times. CSI's had a couple unforced turnovers. See if they can batten down the hatches, if you will, for CSI and get some points here in the paint.
Cray getting the ball out over to Flecker. Now it's Passatoro feeding it out over to Cray. Passatoro driving the ball inside. A pass across, looking to get it to Perrone. It's going to go out of bounds, but it'll remain Dolphin basketball with 9 on the shot clock.
And that was pretty close to being another turnover by the Dolphins, too. Very fortunate that a Western New England player may have gotten a finger on it.
So Passatoro will inbound the basketball as she's going to lob it into Flecker, who gets inside and lays it in. 5 unanswered points now for the Dolphins. They lead 5-0. 2 minutes into this first quarter. O'Neal getting the ball up over to Batani. Batani feeding it inside, that time to a wide open Gilhool, who lays it in. First points for the Golden Bears, and they trail by 3, 5-2. Cray over to Passatoro. Passatoro lobs the ball over in the corner to Flecker. Her long jumper is up, no good, but all Dolphins there for the rebound. They nearly turned the ball over, but Passatoro able to save.
And one thing I like by the Dolphins here is, one, on defense they've used the full court press, and two, they've been very aggressive offensively, and Western New England having a very hard time keeping up.
Passatoro's layup is no good, but she's able to get her own rebound, and a short jumper is good. Nice play that time by Perrone, Mike, keeping that ball alive.
Absolutely, and it's helping back up her teammates and keep the ball alive and gives them a chance at second chance points.
So now the Dolphins match their biggest lead. It's 5, 7-2. O'Neal with the basketball. O'Neal, the long three-pointer is good. Big three-pointer there by Dorothy O'Neal.
And the Golden Bears have been waiting for that one for the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Price working her way inside. It's no good. She grabs her own rebound. That's no good. But the Dolphins able to maintain possession. Dolphins doing a nice job on the boards here, Mike, early.
And they really are. Been extra aggressive on the boards. And even when you have a size disadvantage, if you can be aggressive and productive on the boards, it almost feels like there is no disadvantage as far as size is concerned.
Perone with the basketball. She looks to get it inside. That time for Price, but it'll be kicked away by the Golden Bears, so it will remain Dolphin basketball as we're going to have our first substitution of the afternoon.
Substitution for the Golden Bears, entering 31, Megan Orban.
So Megan Orban, the freshman, will check in for the Golden Bears. Flecker gets the ball for the Dolphins, feeds it in the post now to Perone. Perone tries to use her size. Her shot is up, no good, and then she draws the loose ball foul. So Perone's able to has had a couple of good looks at the basket, Mike, but she is 0 for 3.
She is, and that was a good job defensively by Anderson to keep her somewhat off balance inside the paint as she was trying to drive up towards the hoops. So a good defensive play there by Anderson, but you're right, Perone 0 for 3 so far to start things off.
So Perone will check out of the game for the Dolphins as Jackie Callie will check in. And it'll be Golden Bear basketball down by 2. O'Neal with the basketball, feeding it up over to Gilhool. Now they get the ball up over in the corner. O'Neal with the basketball. Nice pass to a wide open Oberon. A long jumper is up, no good. A fight for the rebound, but that time it's going to be Gilhool standing out of bounds, so it'll be Dolphin basketball. Cray bringing the ball up the floor now for the Dolphins as they get it across the midcourt line quickly and look to set up offensively. Price. Now Cray out beyond the three-point line, feeding it to Flecker. Flecker using a speed, driving inside and laying it up and in.
Tremendous play there by Flecker. Caught Western New England off guard, and she's able to spin right through into the paint and gets the bucket for the 9-5 lead.
Her second basket of the game. She has 4. And now it'll be Auburn. Auburn handing it off to O'Neal. Shielded off that time by Price. She feeds the ball up back to Auburn. Now it's going to be Anderson trying to work her way inside. She kicks the ball in the corner. The jump shot is no good, and Pastoro grabs the rebound. And here comes Christina. Christina driving her way inside. She feeds it to Flecker, who's going to get called for the travel. So we're going to have a whistle and a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Let's keep it right here for the 30-second timeout. Mike, about halfway through the first quarter, 9-5 the score. What are your impressions through the first 5 minutes?
I really like the way the Dolphins have been aggressive offensively here. They've kept the Golden Bears off balance. We've seen Flecker get a couple of big buckets. We've seen Perone have a nice presence inside the paint. Really, and Angela Price with a big 3. So I really like the way the Dolphins have played as a team so far through the first part of this first quarter against Western New England. As for Western New England, they're having a really hard time trying to keep up with the Dolphins right now. The Dolphins have been extra aggressive offensively, extra aggressive on the boards, and have really done a nice job defensively to keep so far Paige Young and Emily Anderson somewhat quiet through the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Angelique Price hit a three-pointer for the Dolphins to get them on the board. Samantha Flecker has a couple of baskets, and Passatoro has the other. So the Dolphins lead by 4 as the Golden Bears, I should say, look to inbound the basketball. O'Neal getting the ball over to Gilhool as she's able to bring the ball across the midcourt line. Anderson out by the three-point line, trying to use her size to fight her way inside, but instead she's called for the offensive foul. And nice job that time by Jackie Callie, Mike. She knew she was going to pay a physical price to take that foul, and she paid the price.
Yes, she did. Again, CSI very aggressive defensively.
And then Callie comes right back with a three-pointer, and the Dolphins open up their biggest lead of the game, 12-5. They lead by 7. And now the Golden Bears turn the basketball over as it's going to go out of bounds.
Should be.
And it's going to be Dolphin basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say it should be Dolphins basketball. As O'Neal was the last to touch it. But, that three-pointer after that kind of play defensively really could be like a backbreaker here in the first quarter Dolphins can convert here, add to this lead now after this turnover, could really benefit them here moving forward throughout this game.
So it's going to be the Dolphins inbounding the ball as it's Cray. Getting the ball to Flecker, and we're going to have a whistle, and it's going to be another offensive foul. This one on the Dolphins, and that's going to be on Cray, and that'll be Cray's first. And the second on the Dolphins, so it'll be Golden Bear basketball now with 4:14 remaining here in the first quarter. O'Neal with the basketball. O'Neal feeding the ball out to Gilhool. Now the Golden Bears look to set up as Aubrand. Getting the ball out over to O'Neal. The Dolphins playing tough defense, trying to get up tight on each Golden Bear player. They lob the ball inside to Olsen, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins. That will be on Passatoro. That'll be Christina's first, the Dolphins' third team foul. So now the Golden Bears will inbound with a fresh 30-second clock. O'Neal out by the three-point line. She pulls up and takes the three-pointer. It's no good. Fight for the rebound, and it will be Dolphin basketball as Paige Young could not keep the ball in play.
I mean, just like how the Dolphins are playing tight defensively there. Yes, foul's going to get called, obviously, but it's not going to change their game plan. They're going to play tight all afternoon here against Western New England.
As the ball comes out to Price, she puts up the three-pointer. That's no good, but the Dolphins will remain in possession with 3:37, and we'll have a second chance opportunity, Mike. Passatoro will inbound for the Dolphins as she lobs the ball out to Price beyond the three-point line. Back to Passatoro. She takes the three-pointer halfway down and out, and here comes O'Neal with the basketball. O'Neal feeding Young. Young drives to the basket and lays it in.
Maybe the most smooth play offensively there for Western New England. They had numbers all the way down the court. As Young finishes it off with the bucket, makes it a 5-point game.
Cray with the basketball for the Dolphins, kicking the ball back out to Passatoro. She puts up another three-pointer. That's no good. And now Cray will draw the foul as Paige Young will get called for the loose ball foul, Mike. A big 5-point swing in the game right there. Passatoro's long three-pointer goes in and out, and Western New England able to come right back with a basket.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you don't want to do for the Dolphins, you don't want to get into the habit of falling in love with a three-pointer. They didn't shoot the threes too well in the opener against Wagner. You want to get your threes, but you want to make sure you get your threes when you can get them at the best opportunity.
Dolphins lead by 5, 12-7, as they have 15 seconds on the shot clock, and Passatoro with the basketball. Callie now lobs it out over to Flecker. Back to Passatoro. Her three-pointer is up, no good. And the Golden Bears control the rebound and feed the ball to Olsen. Olsen getting the ball back to O'Neal as they look to set up now offensively. But they turn the ball over, and that will make it Dolphin basketball. Another substitution here is Emily Farrell's going to check in. And, you know, one thing we notice, Mike, about the Golden Bears, a lot of substitutions here in the first quarter.
They have a lot of substitutions, and they have a lot of depth. Yes, they have a plethora of freshmen, but you know, they want to get some of them in, some of their veteran players in as well.
And Flecker takes another three-pointer. That's no good. The Dolphins have missed their last 4 three-point attempts, and now it'll be the Golden Bears with the basketball. Farrell getting it over to Gilhool. She looks to work the ball inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins. And I believe that will be on Jackie Callie. It will be her first and the team's fourth. The long three-point attempt that time by Olsen is up no good, and Callie controls the rebound and gets the ball up over to Cray. Now it's Passatoro. Passatoro getting the ball up over to Callie. She feeds it inside to Cray. Her shot is blocked. Olsen comes down with the rebound, and here comes Western New England. Farrell with the basketball. Over to Gilhool. She works the ball back up over to Olsen. And now it'll be Young at the three-point line. Still plenty of time to shoot for the Golden Bears. They have 13 on the shot clock. Gilhool, her three-pointer way off, and Passatoro controls the rebound. Passatoro over to Flecker. Her baseline jumper is up no good, and that's going to be tipped out of bounds, and that'll remain Dolphin basketball. But, Mike, the Dolphins have gone ice cold here over the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they have gone ice cold. They've had 3 straight possessions where they missed threes, and now they have had a hard time trying to advance the basketball as Western New England has picked it up a little bit here defensively. See if the Dolphins can turn it around here in this possession as they'll get an opportunity after the turnover.
So Ilana Dimitro will check in for the Dolphins for the first time here this afternoon, and she has the ball for the Dolphins, the freshman from Wagner High School. Now it's Flecker. Flecker fakes the three-pointer, stops, takes the short jumper. That's up no good, and Gilhul is there to control the rebound. Farrell with the basketball. Farrell getting it to Olsen. Olsen's pass, she telegraphed it a little bit, and Passatoro will be there to knock it away out of bounds, but we remain Golden Bear basketball, I should say. 19 on the shot clock, inside a minute to go. Dolphins lead by 5, 12-7. Mike, that's been the score for about a minute and a half or so.
And both of these defenses have done a really nice job imposing their will inside the paint, and right there, they try to force the turnover.
As the ball's going to be turned over, as that time it looked like Olsen might have thrown the ball off the Dolphin defender.
Trying to force a turnover on the Dolphins when it didn't work out.
Yes, but it will end up being Golden Bear basketball, Mike, I believe the correct call.
Yes.
So it'll be Olsen looking to inbound the basketball. As she looks to lob the ball inside. Instead, the Dolphins nearly come away with it. Now they do. It's Passatoro, 3-on-3. Passatoro feeding the ball inside, and we're going to have a whistle. And I thought Callie might have traveled on the play, Mike, but instead it looks like there's going to be a foul called on the Golden Bears. It's only going to be their third team foul, and that foul will be on Paige Young, so the Dolphins will inbound. Flecker puts up a wild shot. That's no good, and Young controls the rebound for the Golden Bears. Farrell feeds it over to Olsen. Olsen working the ball in the corner to Young. Young's jumper is good.
That's a big jump shot there for Paige Young. And for the Golden Bears, they needed that one.
Her second basket, she has 4. It's a 3-point game now. About a 3.5-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock. Passatoro with the basketball for the Dolphins as the clock continues to run.
And from the Dolphins, I try to set up something inside.
Now 7 seconds on the shot clock as it's Flecker. Flecker feeding it inside. The ball's going to be stolen away by Olsen. Golden Bears with 3. Have an opportunity, is putting up the shot and just missing at the buzzer is Paige Young. So Dolphins took a lead by as many as 7, Mike, 12-5. But the Dolphins couldn't score from there. The Golden Bears finish on a 4 run, 12-9 to score. We'll step aside and take a break. We played 1 quarter here at the Sports and Recreation Center as you're watching women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our lives.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to...
We're back here getting ready to start the second quarter. The Dolphins lead by a score of 12-9. And, you know, Mike, why we have a quick second here, we should mention the Dolphins down in Frederick, Maryland, trailing Cabrini 34-32, 4 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the first half. So the Dolphins in it on the road against a tough Cabrini team. As here the women lead by 3 as the first shot for Western New England is up no good here in the second quarter. And here comes Flecker. Flecker feeding it to Passatoro, but first she'll be called for the travel.
Yeah, once again, the men staying close in the game in the first half. Let's see if they can find a way to pull it out in the second. And a couple things from the first half that stand out for me, Mike. Dolphins 5 of 22 from the field, 2 of 7 from long distance. As that will be a bucket inside there for Emily Anderson's. Now it's 1-point game. While Western New England only 4 of 11. They didn't shoot too much. They didn't have any presence offensively on the rebounds. No rebounds offensively to the 8 for the Dolphins. But Dolphins have missed a lot of open shots here in that first quarter.
Yes, Flecker misses another one. And, the Dolphins able to get the turnover and get the ball in the basket now. So that breaks a long drought for the Dolphins as now they'll get a turnover and we'll have the basketball leading by 3, 14-11. And, in that first quarter, Mike, 8 turnovers for Western New England, 5 for the Dolphins. So both teams turning the ball over in that first quarter.
Both teams have turned it over a handful of times. Again, Western New England 8 times, as you just said. But one thing that Dolphins have to do is they have to try to make sure they get the high percentage shots. They really came away after starting off that first quarter working inside, started working outside a lot more as the foul is called as Pasturo goes inside. They started going away from working inside, started going for the outside shots, and that's where they started missing and getting cold offensively. I think they have to start to work inside again and get that presence going, especially here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and that time Passatoro does just that as she drives to the basket. Olsen picks up the foul. That will be her first as Passatoro's first free throw is up and in. So she now has 3 for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins open the lead back to 4. One more free throw coming up here for Passatoro. And that's up no good. A fight for the rebound. And the Golden Bears come away with the basketball.
It's hard to believe that's the first pair of free throws we've had here today.
Yeah. So it's been a well-played game now as Flecker comes away with the turnover for the Dolphins. And here come the Dolphins looking to run. Flecker working it over to Passatoro. Passatoro's long 3 goes in and out. Rebound grab there by Bettini as she'll get the ball to O'Neal, who'll bring the ball up the floor now. O'Neal actually a Staten Island player from St. John Villa, so I'm sure most of the girls on the CSI team have been playing against her for quite some time. She puts up the long jumper, and it's good. So O'Neal hits the long jumper and makes it a 2-point game, 15-13, but Passatoro comes right back to lay it up and in.
A nice response there by the Dolphins. They needed that kind of play, working inside, getting some points. Passatoro with the 4-point lead again.
So Passatoro now leads, the ties for the lead with 5 as that ball's going to go out of bounds. And it's going to be last touch that time by the Dolphins, so it will be Golden Bear basketball with 18 seconds on the shot clock. And Colin Bessie checking into the game for the Dolphins as well. And Bessie on the floor now with Passatoro, Callie, Flecker, and Dimitro. Olsen outside. She takes the long 3-pointer. It's up no good. A fight for the rebound. And there to grab it is Anderson. She misses on the first attempt, but makes the second. 2-point game once again now, 17-15. Dimitro over to Passatoro. Passatoro kicking it over to Mbesi. Her long jumper is up, no good. Ball's going to be tipped around. Last touch by the Dolphins. So now it'll be Golden Bear basketball with a chance to tie or take the lead.
And if they are able to tie or take the lead, it'll be for the first time.
O'Neal with the basketball now. Brings the ball across the midcourt line. Now feeds it out over to Olsen. Now it's Aubrand. O'Neal. O'Neal working against Mbesi. O'Neal, nice stutter step move, and a free throw line jumper is good.
That's a professional play right there. Great job, great shot, ties the game up.
Now Callie puts up the long 3. That's going to be no good. It'll be out of bounds, and it'll be Golden Bear basketball. So Dolphins led in this game by a score of 12-5, but since then the Golden Bears have gone on their own run. to tie this game up at 17. Auburn with the basketball, gets the ball to O'Neal. O'Neal leading the Golden Bears with 7 points. Coming back to Staten Island, Mike, and playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
O'Neal puts up another long three-pointer. That's no good, but now a nice job as Anderson's going to get called for the travel. But, you know, Mike, you could see the Golden Bears starting to pound it inside, and really starting to rebound the basketball a little bit better.
Yeah, they're pounding it inside, also using their size advantage right now. And I was going to say to you, I think the Dolphins could use Perone right now. They'd like to see her check back in. And even Price as well, just to give him a little more size inside.
Passatoro now with the ball for the Dolphins as she gets the ball out over to Cray. Cray looking to set up offensively now for the Dolphins here as there's 15 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Cray goes to the free throw line, now gets the ball inside. A nice bounce pass over to Mbesi, but she's got to put the ball on the floor, Mike, before moving her feet.
That's the second time in the last 3 possessions we've seen a travel here by the Dolphins.
17-17 to score. And, you know, Mike, since the Dolphins took that 7-point lead, they have really struggled to score.
Yeah, they really have. Like we talked about earlier, they've been taking a lot of open shots, have fallen in love with the three a little bit too much, have missed those wide open threes, and Western New England just continues to pound inside when they get a chance on their end of the court.
Young gets the ball up over to Batani. Batani looking to work the ball across to Anderson. It's knocked away, and we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have a foul called on the Dolphins. So the ball went to the floor. A couple of players went for it, Mike, and the Dolphins got called for the foul.
And foul is on Flecker. That's her first of the day.
So that's going to be the first team foul for the Dolphins here in the second half. And it'll be Batani to inbound the ball now for the Golden Bears as she gets the ball up over to Young. Young looking to work her way inside as we're going to have a whistle and a foul called and a blocking foul called that time on the Dolphins as Flecker picks up a foul. So Flecker just picked up her first, Mike, and gets the second one right behind it.
And she might have to take a seat just to keep her out of foul trouble. Tim Shanahan didn't like the call. I can understand that. You know, Flecker did get bounced down to the floor.
So now an opportunity for Western New England to take their first lead of the game here this afternoon. And that first free throw is up no good. As Young misses the first, she'll have one more upcoming. Young, the 5'10" senior from Berlin, Connecticut, misses both, and Flecker controls the rebound now for the Dolphins. Flecker getting it to Cray. Cray working it to Passatoro. Passatoro's open three-pointer goes off the rim, off the top of the backboard, and good, Mike. That was awful close to going off the shot clock.
You know, isn't it kind of ironic? She had a three-pointer earlier that went in and then bounced out, and that one looked like it was going to clearly miss, but it's ended up falling in anyway.
So Passatoro now leads all scorers with 8, as coming right back, though, and laying the ball up and in is Batani. 2019, Dolphins lead by 1 as they work the ball in the corner now. The open jumper by Flecker is up no good. Batani grabs the rebound, and here comes Western New England. O'Neal gets the ball up over to Young. Young feeding the ball inside, and Batani lays it up and in, and the Golden Bears take their first lead of the afternoon, and that's going to lead to a timeout taken now by the Dolphins. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so let's keep it right here. 4:43 remaining in the first half, Mike, and the Dolphins find themselves trailing for the first time here this afternoon.
Yeah, a lot of that has everything to do with the fact that the Golden Bears have been very aggressive inside the paint. We already saw Sammy Batani scoring 2 straight buckets inside to give the Golden Bears the lead. Dolphins have also gotten themselves into a little bit of foul trouble and have fallen in love with that three-pointer. They've got to tighten things up a little bit here offensively. I think they have to get back to basics where they were at the start of this ball game and start to work more inside. I've said I know it's like the third time I've said that, but they have to try to work a little more inside and maybe even get a little more size, get Perone back in to give him some chance to get those second chance points inside against this Golden Bears team.
Yeah, you know, Mike, the Dolphins just struggling to shoot a little bit here this afternoon, and the Dolphins out-rebounded Western New England early in the game, but as Western New England has been rotating players in and out, and Perone has come out, as you mentioned, the Dolphins have had a lot harder time rebounding the basketball. Cray with the basketball now for the Dolphins as the Dolphins have their first possession trailing here this afternoon. Cray feeding the ball inside now as the Dolphins look to get the ball inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball. The possession arrow will remain with the Dolphins. Just 8 seconds remaining to shoot.
And two new freshmen now on the floor for the Dolphins. Lena Bitar wearing number 22, Chanel Alvarez wearing 23. They have both checked in.
So we'll see how they do for the Dolphins as Price feeding the ball inside, and putting up our first shot is Alvarez. That's going to be no good. And Western New England, though, will turn the ball over, and that will give the Dolphins an opportunity to regain the basketball now, trailing by 1 with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. Cray with the ball. Cray out by the three-point line, looks to set up things offensively for the Dolphins. Now it's Passatoro at the three-point line. Passatoro back to Cray. Victoria's long three-pointer is up off the rim. No good, and Mike, the Dolphins' ice-cold shooting continues. Gilhool with the basketball. Gilhool feeding the ball out over to Anderson, but it's going to be thrown away, and the Dolphins will get the ball off the Western New England turnover. And, you know, Mike, the Golden Bears really hurting themselves with turnovers.
They really have. They've made a lot of unforced mistakes in this first half. That was an unforced error right there on the turnover. Dolphins with a chance now to take the lead again.
Passatoro with the basketball now with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Passatoro working the ball up over. Bataj's jumper is up, no good. And the Golden Eagles control the basketball once again as O'Neal feeding the ball up over to Olsen. That's up, no good, and Cray controls that rebound. But Cray is stripped of the basketball by Anderson, who lays it up and in.
That was a very good play there by Anderson. She just sneaks in, strips the ball away, and is able to score the bucket uncontested.
And the Dolphins able to come right back with a basket of their own, Mike, and they really needed that one as Price gets the basket, and the Dolphins now trail by 1. Ball fed inside now to Young. Her shot is up, no good, but she's able to grab her own rebound and lay it up and in. And, you know, Mike, the Golden Bears continue to work inside against CSI.
And that's a 5'10" senior working against a handful of players that are 3 or 4 inches shorter than she is, and that's why she's able to go up there and get that rebound and put it back in.
So the Dolphins have the ball knocked out of bounds. They'll remain in possession with 25 seconds remaining on the shot clock. They now trail by 3. Price over to Cray. Back to Price. She looks to drive away inside and lay it up and in. So Angelique Price, a couple of baskets, Mike. Dolphins really needing that offense, now trail by 1.
And she's up to 7 points now.
Batani with the basketball, feeding it out over to Young. Young working the ball out over to O'Neal. O'Neal in the corner now to Olsen with 15 seconds to shoot. Young feeding it to Batani. Her long shot is up, no good, and a nice job by Price to come back and grab the rebound. Cray with the basketball. Over to Price. Price's long three-pointer is up, no good. Cray tries to keep it in bounds. She can't, though, and it will be Golden Bear basketball as Rosa Perone will check into the game for the Dolphins, and Rosa will replace Chanel Alvarez.
And this is the defensive presence they need right now here, down by 1 point in the final 2 minutes.
O'Neal with the basketball. O'Neal trying to work against Price. Nice defensive play by Price, and O'Neal has the ball go out of bounds, and it will be Dolphin basketball.
Yeah, really good job by Price. She dared her to go outside, and then she ends up losing possession of the basketball.
Cray gets the ball out over to Price now. Price looking to feed it inside to Perone. Bodies flying all over the place, and it looks like it'll be a foul on Western New England.
And that foul is going to be charged on Paige Young.
So the senior will pick up her second foul. It'll be the second team foul. Not a lot of fouls here in this game, Mike. A lot of good flow to the game here this afternoon.
Real good flow. Both of these teams, Michael, have been playing extremely well and really at a high tempo.
Passatoro with the basketball now for the Dolphins. Passatoro trying to work away against Patani. She feeds Perone at the baseline. She drives her way inside and lays it up, no good. And now we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins. I believe that'll be on Cray. So Cray now picks up her second personal for the Dolphins. Olsen with the basketball now for the Golden Bears as they bring the ball across the midcourt line.
And we're going to have a substitution here, Mike, soon. Looks like Jackie Callie's going to come back in.
Long jumper put up that time by Anderson is no good, and the Dolphins control the rebound. They nearly lose it. Now they do. A nice defensive play by Passatoro to come back and knock the ball out of bounds, but it will remain Golden Bear basketball with just over a minute remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, as one would expect with the 2 fouls. Craig comes out, Callie comes in. But really a good play there by Passatoro. Even though it results in a turnover, you keep the Bears from scoring points there. That's the key.
So now the jumper is up, no good. Bodies flying over once again, and Passatoro controls the rebound, looking to get the ball to Perone. The pass too far, and it'll be the Golden Bears coming away with the basketball once again as it's Olsen. Olsen feeding it to Farrell. Farrell's short jumper rolls around the rim, no good. Fight for the rebound, and that time a nice play by Batar to come away with the ball for the Dolphins and feed Passatoro. Passatoro in the corner to a wide-open Price. Her shot is no good, but she works her way inside, grabs the rebound, and draws the foul.
Dolphins with a little more size now, Mike, with Price, Perone, and Callie now in the lineup, and it's added a little more energy here in the last 2 minutes to the second half as they have Western New England on their heels right now.
So it'll be Price to go to the free throw line. She'll shoot 2 now. 31 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Dolphins trail by 1, 25-24. As Price's first free throw is up and in, and we're tied once again at 25.
And that's a nice comeback here by the Dolphins. I will say, though, earlier, about a possession ago, a good non-call by the officials as one of the Western New England players did take a tumble.
So one ball coming up here for Price, an opportunity for the Dolphins to take the lead. As that shot is up, no good. The rebound is controlled by Bitar. That's no good. Perone tries to grab the rebound. Bodies flying all over once again, and this time it's going to be a foul called on the Dolphins, and that's going to be a foul on Rosa Perone, and that's a big foul there, Mike, because that's going to be her second, and now Perone and Passatoro and Cray and Flecker, I believe, I'm sorry, not Passatoro, all have 2 fouls for the Dolphins. Shot clock off now, 24.7 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And it really does put the Dolphins in a tight spot here, especially in the last 20 seconds where they want to be physical.
Farrell getting the ball out now as it's going to be Aubrand with the basketball out by the three-point line inside it, 10 seconds remaining. Gilhool with the basketball. Gilhool feeding Farrell. Farrell back to Gilhool. Gilhool's long three-pointer rolls around the rim, no good. Ball tipped around, and that's going to do it. We're going to go to halftime, Mike. Tied at 25. Back and forth first half. Both teams kind of struggling a little bit on the offensive end.
Both teams struggling on the offensive end. I think the Dolphins did a very nice job there at the end of that first half, especially defensively to pick it up a little bit. They did bring in some more size, but the one concern you have, if you're Tim Shanahan, some foul trouble for some of your stars, but still. An even first half, if you will, Michael, for both of these teams. We'll see what the Dolphins can do. Try to pick up the tempo in the second half.
So we're at halftime. We're tied at 25 between the Dolphins and the Golden Bears. What we'll do is we'll step aside. We'll take a break for a few minutes, and then we'll be back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half as you're watching women's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice for everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably put the bonfire over there.
guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
We don't need a banana. Do we need? No.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A full life measured in seats starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
We're back here at halftime, all tied at 25 between the College of Staten Island and Western New England. Mike Babusky along with Michael Cohn here for the 2016-2017 women's home opener between the College of Staten Island and Western New England. And you know, Mike, while we have a minute, we should mention that the CSI men's basketball team down on the road in Frederick, Maryland, 16:30 remaining in the second half in that game. The Dolphins behind 20 points from Frankie Schettino, leading Cabrini in that game by a score of 46-44. So a good back-and-forth game down in Frederick, Maryland, as the men try to get on the winning side for the first time here this afternoon. And, Mike, the men will be back in action here at the CSI Sports and Recreation Center, I should say. Their home opener will be this Tuesday night against Yeshiva University.
Yeah, that'll be a huge win if they can get it on the road there in Maryland. And, again, Frank Schettino, what can you say? One of the top players on this team. Everything's going to, a lot of people are going to look to him now to be the offensive star, and he's getting off to a great start there with 20 points.
So, Mike, let's get our attention back to this game. We're tied at 25. The Dolphins' biggest lead in this game was 7. Biggest lead for Western New England has been 3. It's been a good back-and-forth game. The Dolphins led in points by both Christina Passatoro and Angelique Price, both players with 8 points apiece. But once again, the Dolphins struggling a little bit from the field.
Struggling a little bit from the field. I mean, they shot only 24% in the first half, 21% from long distance. I think that's the one thing that's been kind of the thorn in their side. Really, it's been a thorn in the side for both teams, because if you take a look at Western New England, they're 1 for 10 from long distance. Both teams have kind of fallen in love, especially in that second quarter, with taking the long three-point shots. Hasn't exactly worked for them. The shots have not gone down. I think for CSI, they have to kind of go back to the drawing board here in the second half, focus on working inside the paint a little bit more, create offense, create opportunities and second chance points for their players like Samantha Flecker, as well as Christina Passatoro, to get those shots and get points on the board for this team. You take a look, Flecker 2 for 10 to start the first half. Passatoro 3 out of 8, but also 1 out of 5 from long distance. Meanwhile, for Western New England, again, they haven't shot all that well either. They only shot 38% in the first half, a little bit better in the second quarter, though. But players that stand out, Dorothy O'Neill, 3 out of 6 with 7 points. Paige Young, 3 out of 5. Kind of a quiet first half for her. She did also miss a couple of free throws as well. She came away with 6 points in that first half.
And, Mike, you look at how the Dolphins are playing defensively. They're doing pretty well. They've out-rebounded Western New England 28-24, and they have forced 14 Western New England turnovers, but they have turned the ball over 10 times themselves as well.
They have, but I do like this. The second chance points, CSI is winning 5-4. They're winning the battle on the points off turnovers 9-4, and their bench was outscored Western New England 5-0.
Yeah, and those are good numbers for the Dolphins. The Dolphins really struggled with bench points in their game against Wagner earlier in the week. Only 1 point from the bench during that game. So Dolphins getting a little more productivity from their bench. But the Dolphins need to pick it up offensively here a little bit in the second half. Both teams really struggling to score in that first half, Mike. 25-25, pretty low scoring first half.
We'll see if these two offenses can pick it up here in the second half. I think we'll see a little bit different feel to both of these teams as we begin the second stanza.
So as the Dolphins and the Golden Bears get ready here for the second half, Mike, we're kind of really restarting the game as both teams are tied up. What are you looking for from CSI here in the second half?
Well, I think for CSI, I'm looking for more opportunities to high percentage shots. They took a lot of jump shots, a lot of three-point shots. Some of them went down, some of them did not. I want to see if they can work a little more inside the paint. I know that Western New England has some size there, but try to force some fouls and try to get some points. Also, don't be afraid to get to the free throw line and get some opportunities there.
So the Dolphins coming out with the same starting 5 as they started the game with: Passatoro on the floor with Craig, Price, Perrone, and Flecker for the Dolphins, and it'll be the Golden Bears with the first possession of the basketball here in the second half as they work the ball in the corner, but get called for the turnover. That time Mike Gill, who just, without really much pressure on it, just turned the ball over. Cray getting the ball to Flecker. Now it's Passatoro out at the three-point line. She kicks the ball back to Flecker. Flecker's long three-pointer is good.
And that's exactly what the Dolphins need. And you've talked about the struggles they've had hitting long-distance shots, but that is a great start there as Samantha Flecker knocks down the 3.
So Flecker hits the three-pointer for the Dolphins. She now has 7, and the Dolphins lead by 3, 28-25, as O'Neill has the basketball. O'Neill feeding the ball inside, looking for Young, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul out on the baseline, and that's a big foul, Mike, because that's going to be on Rosa Perrone, and that's going to be her third personal here very early in the third quarter.
You don't want to get into too much foul trouble with your bigs inside. That's always a big problem for teams.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that Perrone remained in the game after picking up that third personal, and now O'Neill hits a big three-pointer, and Dorothy O'Neill in her return to Staten Island already with 10 points is a beautiful shot that time by Angelique Price. A lot of contact, hits the shot, and the Dolphins regained a 2-point lead.
And she bounced off her defender. Good non-call by the referees, and they let her put down the jump shot. Gives the Dolphins a 2-point advantage.
Anderson feeding the ball to Bettini. Bettini's long jumper is no good, and Cray runs to control the ball down by the baseline for the Dolphins and bring it up the floor quickly. She's left open and takes the long three-pointer and buries it.
Much better flow to the game offensively here for the Dolphins, Michael. And one thing that we've seen here on these 3 possessions, they've taken shots that have been, yes, aggressive. Yes, they've taken jump shots, but they have been they've been jump shots that they've planned for. They haven't been rushed as they were in the first half.
So now it's going to be Gilhool to bring the ball across the midcourt line. She feeds it over to Young. Young working the ball in the corner now to Anderson as it goes back to Gilhool now. The long jumper taking that time and hit by Young. Big basket that time for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, really big basket. Situation where they're down 5 points and they needed those points right there.
Passatoro looks to feed the ball inside. Instead, it's knocked away, but the Dolphins come away with the basketball, and taking the long three-pointer is Samantha Flecker and burying it. Dolphins coming out on fire here to start the second half as Angelique Price just got hit by a very hard pick that time by Anderson, but the Golden Bears missed the rebound, and the Dolphins have the basketball.
And Dolphins with the fast break coming back the other way. They're 3 for 3. Now 3 for 4 in long distance, but they've gotten some good open looks here, Michael, to start this third quarter, and that's how they've been able to knock down some of these shots.
Yeah, and now Angelique Price is going to get called for the foul, and Mike, she's got to be shaking her head. She's been bounced around and hammered here the entire second half, and now she gets called for the foul. 6-point lead for the Dolphins, 36-30, 7:30 remaining here in the third quarter. Young with the basketball. Young handing the ball back to O'Neal. O'Neal really doing a good job keeping the Golden Bears in the game here this afternoon. Anderson out by the three-point line trying to work her way inside on Flecker. Her shot is up, no good, and Perot controls the rebound now for the Dolphins and gets the ball to Passatoro. Passatoro looking to feed the ball inside. Now it comes back to Passatoro at the baseline, but she short arms the jumper, and the rebound is controlled now, and it's Batani. Batani looking to work against Cray. She now backs the ball out to Anderson. Anderson puts up the long three-pointer and buries it.
That was a filthy 3 right there by Anderson. She had nobody around her. A clear open shot at 3, and she nailed it.
And now Price comes back and nails the three-pointer of her own and buries it. And the Dolphins with 13 points here, Mike, through just over 3 minutes and 20 seconds, match their highest output for either the first or second quarter.
I just love the aggression here by the Dolphins, and Price now with 2 3-pointers in this game already.
As that ball taken inside, and Perot grabs the rebound, and now the Dolphins get called for a travel, and that was a tough break that time, Mike, as Perone and Cray both had the basketball for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins kind of give away the ball on an unforced turnover there.
And it's hard to believe we're almost halfway through this third quarter. That's how quick these two teams have played here. Both of them going really with a fast break approach.
Dolphins lead by 5 now as it's O'Neal with the basketball working on Price. O'Neal picks up the dribble, now handing the ball off to Gilhool. Gilhool working the ball up over to Batani as now Western New England with 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock. The ball fed inside. The layup is up. No good. And, once again, Mike, the Dolphins had the basketball, and they kind of commit a little bit of an unforced turnover there, giving Western New England another opportunity.
And Callie went down to the floor. I thought for a second that it was going to be a foul on Western New England, but instead turns into a turnover the other way.
So Western New England with the basketball once again as it's going to be Anderson. She works her way inside, and Callie controls the rebound and gets the ball to Price. Price driving her way inside. The layup is up, no good. Nice rebound by Callie for the Dolphins. Now Passatoro puts up the long three-pointer, and we have a whistle, and I think it might be a shot clock issue there, Mike. I think that the Dolphins grabbed the rebound. The shot clock looked like it reset but did not restart. So with 5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the second half, the Dolphins lead 38-33. A lot more offense, Mike, than we saw in either quarter so far here in the third quarter.
A lot more offense. Both teams getting some open looks and nailing down their shots. Right now they reset the shot clock here, Michael, to 24 seconds. And Passatoro inbound.
So Passatoro looking to lob the ball inside to Flecker. Her layup is up and no good. Anderson controls the rebound, feeds it to O'Neal, who gets the ball up over to Anderson. Now it's Gilhool. Gilhool back up over to Anderson. She works the ball up over on the far side now, and we're going to have a whistle. And a foul going to be called on the Dolphins. And that's going to be on Cray. That'll be her third. So now, Mike, 2 Dolphins with 3 personal fouls.
Well, Cray made a move. It looks like she may have just, it was almost like she hopped up in the air and they called the foul.
Yeah, tough call that time, as now Batani feeding the ball inside, and the shot is going to be up and no good. And Cray is going to pick up the foul, and that's going to be her 4th, Mike.
And fortunately for her, she might be in a situation where they have to make a substitution. She'll have to sit down. It looks like the freshman is going to come in.
Yeah,
That's DeMontro.
Yeah, and, Mike, those were, 2 pretty tough calls. The first foul looked like a totally phantom call. And, on that second one, you reach down, you're going to get called for a foul a lot, and that's what happened to Victoria. So now she'll have to go to the bench with 4 fouls. So in the space of about 5 seconds, she goes from 2 fouls to 4. 38-34. Dolphins now lead by 4 as Passatoro with the basketball. Passatoro feeding it over to Flecker. Flecker now working the ball up over to DeMontro. The ball's going to go out of bounds, and it will remain Dolphin basketball now with 18 seconds to shoot. DeMontro inbounds to Passatoro. Now out in the corner to Flecker. Flecker puts up the long 3-pointer. That's no good. Callie grabs the rebound. She looks to put the ball inside. The ball rolling on the ground. It'll be out of bounds. And it will be Golden Eagle or Golden Bear basketball.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, but was there a little contact there on Flecker? I thought there was.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. And, we saw a couple of fouls called on the other end on very minimal contact. And Flecker actually knocked to the floor on that 3-point attempt, and nothing called on the play. So it will be Golden Bear basketball, 38-35, a 3-point game now, with 4 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. O'Neal with the basketball. O'Neal looking to work on Price. She works it up over to Nyland. Nyland feeding the ball out over to Olsen. Olsen back to O'Neal. O'Neal working the ball out over to Olsen. 10 seconds remaining to shoot. It's driving inside, but getting called for the offensive foul will be Carolyn Nealand, so the Dolphins will take the basketball.
And Callie took the brunt of that inside.
Yeah, second time this afternoon that Callie has drawn an offensive foul, and now Price with a nice layup to open the Dolphin lead back up to 5.
And she's now up to 14 points now.
O'Neal with the basketball, spins it, turns at the 3-point line, and now looks to reset the Golden Bear offense. O'Neal, bounce pass goes up over to Nyland. Nyland feeding the ball up over to Auburn. Auburn looking to work her way inside, but we're going to have a whistle and a foul out on the floor before the shot, as Alana DeMontro will pick up the foul. Now for the Dolphins, that will be the 3rd team foul on the Dolphins, and the Golden Bears will inbound. Nyland looking to inbound the basketball, feeds it out to O'Neal. O'Neal working against Price. She pulls up for the quick 3-pointer. It's no good, but a nice rebound that time by Auburn for the Golden Bears. O'Neal back up over to Auburn. Auburn guarded there by Callie. She feeds the ball out over to Anderson. Anderson now looking to work against Flecker. Anderson now fighting away inside. She puts the ball up. It's no good. It's going to go out of bounds.
No foul.
And it is going to remain Golden Bear basketball. Looked like the Golden Bears might have just thrown that one out of bounds, as the ball's going to roll out of bounds, and it's going to remain Western New England basketball, Mike, but down to 7 on the shot clock.
Creates a pressure situation here for the Golden Bears. We'll see how they answer here.
Nyland with the basketball. She's going to inbound it over to O'Neal. Price tries to keep it in bounds. She can, and the shot clock got reset, and it's got to be set back, and it's going to be set at 6 seconds with 3:37 remaining here in the third quarter. So Dolphins have had a couple opportunities at the basketball here, but the Golden Bears remain in possession with 6 on the shot clock. Auburn handing it off to O'Neal. O'Neal looking to work against Price. She hands the ball to Nyland, and not sure what the Golden Bears were thinking, Mike. They didn't realize the shot clock had run out.
Yeah, they just forgot what they just lapsed on what was happening right there, and a good job by Price defending on the play, forcing the turnover.
Passatoro takes the long three-pointer. That's going to be partially blocked. And here comes Western New England with the basketball as it's Auburn. Auburn bringing the ball up to the three-point line. She dishes the ball off to O'Neal, over to Anderson. Her three-pointer will be off the rim and no good, so the Dolphins will regain the basketball. Passatoro bringing the ball up across the midcourt line. She feeds it inside to Price, who lays it up and in. Nice vision that time. Golden Bears tried to come up and press, Mike. Passatoro made him pay.
Angelique Price has been a little bit much here for the Golden Bears throughout this game. We saw it right from the start with a three-pointer. She is now up to 16 points in this game. She's been dominant and now forces the turnover, and here she goes with numbers to Passatoro, and they finish it off with the points.
Beautiful play that time by Price to feed it to Passatoro. She lays it up and in and draws the foul. Dolphins open up the lead to 9 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. And Angelique Price, Mike, as you mentioned, coming up big. 8 points here in the second half, 16 points on the game, and a big assist and a chance at a three-point play now for Passatoro and the Dolphins. So Passatoro will go to the free throw line. 3 Dolphins now in double figures. As Passatoro's free throw is up, no good, and the rebound will be controlled by the Golden Bears. Farrell with the basketball. Farrell working the ball in the corner, gets the ball up over to Olsen. Olsen tries to feed the ball inside, but she'll not be able to keep the ball in bounds. And now we're going to have a whistle and a timeout on the play as Western New England will call a timeout here. It'll be a full timeout, so why don't we take a break here with 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Dolphins lead 44-35. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
We're back here with 2 minutes, 28 seconds remaining. The Dolphins with the ball and their biggest lead of the game, 9 points, as they lead 44-35. Passatoro with the basketball. Passatoro getting the ball up over to Callie. Callie lobbing the ball out over to Flecker. Dolphins still with 15 to shoot. DeMontro with the ball. She feeds it back up over to Callie. Callie's long three-pointer is good, and just like that, Mike, the Dolphins open up their biggest lead of the game, 12 points.
And that was a huge three right out of the timeout. Jackie Callie right there in the corner, right against the line in the corner, puts up the three and nails it. A nice answer there by the Bears, but still now double-digit lead for the Dolphins of 10 points.
So Young gets a basket to break the Dolphin run, and the Dolphin lead is 10 as Passatoro backs out the basketball now for CSI.
And that 12-point lead was the largest lead of the game here for the Dolphins.
Passatoro with the basketball. Passatoro looking to drive toward the baseline. Now she pulls out with 8. She stops. She puts up the long three-pointer. It's partially blocked, but Callie is there to lay the ball back up and in. Callie now with 10 points, and the Dolphins lead by 12 once again.
Heads-up play there by Callie to back up, get the second chance points for the putback. Makes it a 12-point game again.
Farrell with the basketball. Farrell looking to lob the ball inside. Missing the layup this time out is Young, and the rebound controlled by Flecker. And the Dolphins have the ball, a 12-point lead in less than a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Pass to Toro. Working her way inside. That shot will be blocked, but it will remain Dolphin basketball. 20 to shoot. 54.2 seconds, or 4 seconds remaining. And Nicole and Bessie will check into the game for the Dolphins.
You know, we talked about in that first half, especially in that second quarter, about trying to get Callie as well as Price and Perrone. I know Perrone right now is on the bench with the fouls, but Price and Callie using their size to their advantage have really done a great job inside and have been extra aggressive offensively, and they're a big part of the reason why the Dolphins have this 12-point lead right now.
Passatoro with 3 seconds on the shot clock hits the three-pointer, and the Dolphins have opened up a 15-point lead, a 1-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock.
I would love to see the stats here in the third quarter for the Dolphins in the three-point shooting because they have been phenomenal. I think they've only missed one three-pointer.
And a big play that time by Samantha Flecker, going up strong for the rebound, drawing the loose ball foul, as that loose ball foul will be on Emily Anderson. That'll be her third foul, and the Dolphins with the basketball, a 15-point lead and an opportunity to hold for the last shot.
That's a big foul on Anderson here as we're about to hit the fourth quarter.
Passatoro, a beautiful feed inside to Flecker, and the Dolphins lead 54-37. And that's going to end the third quarter. What a third quarter for the Dolphins. Dolphins are able to score 29 points in that third quarter, and they take a big 17-point lead. So why don't we step aside and take a break as we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter as the Dolphins lead after 3, 54-37. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably put the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
We're back as we are getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter. And, you know, Mike, the Dolphins scored 25 points through the first 20 minutes, but put up 29 points in that third quarter to break this game open a little bit and give the Dolphins a 17-point lead.
29 points, and they've also now doubled up the Bears.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, the Dolphins, who have really struggled with their shooting all afternoon long, coming up big in that third quarter, shooting 60% from the field, 12 of 20, and 5 of 9 from the three-point line. And boy, what a difference it makes when you're shooting well.
Yeah, I mean, 60% in the third quarter, 55% from long distance. They've really changed the course of this game. And what a job there by Angelique Price, who now has 16.7 out of 13 shooting. Samantha Flecker, 5 out of 16, 12 points. And Christina Passaturo, 13 points, 5 out of 14 shooting.
As Flecker tries to drive inside, her shot is partially blocked, but the Dolphins able to maintain the basketball and still have 20 seconds to shoot. Callie kicking the ball out. The long three-pointer taken that time by Flecker is up. No good. A fight for the rebound. And this time Anderson able to come away with the ball for Western New England.
You know, I'm surprised the head coach for the Golden Bears, Nicole Cesar, has decided to leave Anderson in the game. She has 3 fouls already in this game. I know she's an important part of their offense, but 3 fouls is a lot at this point.
So Gilhool with the basketball as they work the ball in the corner. The long three-pointer is up, no good, and it's Flecker with the rebound, feeding it to Price. Price bringing the ball out from the baseline, feeding it back to Mbesi. Mbesi's long shot is up, no good, and the rebound controlled now by Farrell. Farrell, bounce pass goes up over to Auburn. Auburn's jumper is up, no good, as Western New England has really gone ice cold here in the second half. Callie looking to feed it inside to Price, and that ball will go out of bounds, but it will remain Dolphin basketball. And, you know, Mike, in that third quarter, Western New England just 4 of 15. That's just 26.7%, and they really struggled from the field under very good defensive play from the CSI Dolphins.
And Dolphins have been extra aggressive inside the paint against this team all day, and the Western New England has had no answer.
So it's going to be Passatore with the basketball, now feeding it out over to Callie. Dolphins slowing things down offensively a little bit, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Passatore feeding it out over to Flecker, whose baseline jumper is good.
And it's amazing how Flecker at times has been wide open, especially here in the second half on some of these shots.
Flecker now has 14 for the Dolphins, 4 players on the floor for the Dolphins in double figures, and they have a 19-point lead with 8 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Anderson over to Gilhool. Gilhool getting the ball up over to Auburn. Auburn working the ball out over now to Farrell. They try to feed the ball inside, but once again, a nice defensive play by Mbesi, and Passatore comes away with the basketball. Passatore feeding it over to Flecker. Flecker over to Mbesi. Mbesi tried to force it inside. Instead, Batani will come away with the basketball, and a nice play that time by Price to try to keep the ball in bounds. And you know, Mike, you got to be really impressed with the improvement of Angelique's Price's play, both offensively and defensively, from last year to this year.
It's like a totally different player. She has picked up her game to another level, and it's really been a difference for the Dolphins in this game. And then the 16 points she's put up has been a big part of the reason why they have a 19-point lead.
Yeah, she's been in double figures in both games here in this 2016 season, and a player the Dolphins are really going to be counting on throughout the year as O'Neal comes around the screen, puts up a three-pointer. It's no good. Callie controls the rebound, but her pass is going to be a little bit too far ahead, and Western New England able to come away with the basketball. And, you know, that time Auburn was knocked down to the floor, nothing called, and the Golden Bears have the basketball. Young with the basketball. Young getting the ball up over to Gilhool. Gilhool working the ball out over to Auburn. Now it's O'Neal with 10 seconds to shoot. Western New England now with the basketball. It's Young. Young feeding the ball up for the long jumper. It's up, no good. And Patani is there to control the rebound, and we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have a foul called on the Dolphins. But, Mike, the Western New England struggles continue. They just scored 12 points in the third quarter. They've yet to score here in the third after 3 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah, the Dolphins have just done a tremendous job against this team, and they have had no real open shots at all. First time we've seen them at the free throw line in this entire second half, and they were 0 for 2 at the free throw line in the entire first half. So Dolphins, as aggressive as they have been incredibly disciplined defensively as well.
So Western New England misses the first. The second free throw is up and no good, and Western New England just cannot score here, Mike, as they miss both free throws but do control the offensive rebound.
And their top 2 players, Paige Young, Emily Anderson, combined coming into this quarter, 9 out of 24.
Yeah, so it'll be the Golden Bears with the basketball now. As Young has the basketball, they feed the ball up over to Auburn. Auburn looking for somewhere to go with the basketball, but instead, Mbesi controls it and feeds it out over to Price. Price, a beautiful feed, gets the ball up over to Flecker, who lays it up and in. Beautiful play that time. Dolphins open up the lead now to 21, 58-37. Mike, Western New England needs a run immediately if they're going to get back in this game.
I think the Dolphins are in their head a little bit.
Batani with the basketball. Batani feeds it up over to Auburn, and she finally breaks that Dolphin run, and that's going to be a 30-second timeout, Mike. So let's keep it right here. This was a 25-25 game, Mike. But in the second half, it's been all CSI Dolphins.
It's been all CSI Dolphins, and as I said, I think before that three-pointer, I thought the Dolphins were in the heads of the Bears a little bit. You saw the turnover there. They weren't really paying attention, and Bessie gets the steal, and, of course, the great feed from Price to Flecker to finish it off for the points. Really, the Dolphins have been playing sound basketball for the entire second half here, as they have now an 18-point lead and have been by light years ahead of where this Golden Bear team is now. An update in the men's game, 1:44 to go in the second half, and Staten Island is down to Cabrini, 75-72.
Yeah, the Dolphins led in that game for a lot of the second half, Mike, but Cabrini pulled out in front here toward the end of the second half. Dolphins, Schettino leads the way with 24, 13 apiece for Baum and Bracic. But the Dolphins trailing now by 4 with 1:44 remaining, so they're in danger of falling to 0-2. Different story here for the women, as they're in control of this game now, leading by 18 with 5:38 remaining. But, Mike, still plenty of time remaining, and head coach Tim Shanahan not liking what he sees, so he takes a quick 30-second timeout.
And that's a good timeout right there. You want to keep your head above water here, because 18-point lead could quickly be whittled down to 9 and then 7 and 5. We see that all the time in basketball. So you got to stay focused if you're the CSI Dolphins and continue to pound inside and continue to get those open shots and make them.
And just to look ahead a little bit, we'll be back in action here. Doubleheader basketball this Tuesday afternoon. The women will have their second home game against St. Joseph Brooklyn. That opening tip will be at 6 o'clock, pregame at 5:45. And then the men will make their home opening debut this Tuesday night. Scheduled tip-off around 8 o'clock as Yeshiva University will roll into town. And then the women back in action with another home game a week from today against NYU. So plenty of good non-conference basketball for the girls, Mike. Wagner, Western New England, St. Joe's, Brooklyn, and NYU before the conference season gets underway on November 29th.
And all have been really good tests for this team.
So the Dolphins now with the basketball as it's Flecker. Flecker gets it to Price. Price works her way inside and draws the foul. And, not only has Angelique Price played very well here this afternoon, Mike, she's been on the receiving and the giving end of a lot of physical play, really mixing things up, playing very well defensively and working very hard offensively as well.
We came into this game, Mike, talking about the two key players, of course, Passatoro and Flecker, and it's going to be about them moving forward, but I think the narrative, as that goes down for a point, it's now 59-40. Narrative has changed a little bit, because now you got to include Price as being an offensive weapon here. You got to include Callie as being an offensive weapon here that could be really utilized by Tim Shanahan throughout this 2016-17 season.
Yeah, and Price now leading the Dolphins. She has 18, and the Dolphins open the lead up by 20 and looking to press Western New England in the backcourt as Batar nearly steals the ball away, but Western New England able to get the ball in the front court. But once again, a nice defensive play that time, but gathering the ball up for Western New England and missing another layup is going to be Young. And Western New England just really struggling to score a little bit, as we're going to have a turnover on the Dolphins, as it'll be Western New England basketball. Head coach Tim Shanahan a little bit upset, pleading with the official to ask for help. So we'll see what happens here, and what's going to happen is it's going to be Western New England basketball. Dolphins by 20. They've outscored Western New England here in the second half, 35-15, and now the Dolphins force a turnover. And one thing that you have to like, Mike, the way the Dolphins have played both here and in the game against Wagner, is their very aggressive defense here in 2016.
And I think it really caught Western New England off guard in this game. They didn't expect the Dolphins to be this aggressive. They thought they were coming in with their size advantage that would make the difference, but the Dolphins have been using their aggression to their advantage, and that's really been their size advantage in this game against the Golden Bears.
So Megan Auburn, the freshman from East Hampton, Connecticut, will pick up her third personal, the team's third personal, and the Dolphins will have the basketball. Clock continuing to roll, 5:04 remaining, as the Dolphins will have to inbound the ball once again. Cray gets the ball out over to Passatoro, as Passatoro angles the ball out as we're inside of 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. No, Mike, no reason for the Dolphins to hurry their offense now, as Cray able to work her way inside and drive it up and lay it in, but Cray saw the opening and she drove right to the basket.
That was a nice job there by Cray, now with 5 points on the day. 22-point lead, largest for the Dolphins yet.
Long three-pointer taken that time by Auburn, and she hits it to bring Western New England back to within 19. And, you know, if they're going to have any chance at all, they can't allow the Dolphins to score any more points here in the fourth quarter.
And they may have to start raining down some threes whenever they get their chances.
Passatoro working the ball up over to Price. Price hoisting up the three-pointer. That's no good. O'Neal there to grab the rebound for the Golden Bears. Ball comes ahead to Auburn. Auburn stops, and her long jumper is good. She scored 5 consecutive points for Western New England, and the lead is down to 17 inside of 4 minutes remaining.
A little bit of a run here by Western New England. If you're the Dolphins, I would just slow things down just a little bit offensively. You got 20 seconds on the shot clock. No need to rush.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Passatoro over to Flecker. Flecker puts up the jumper from the baseline and buries it. Flecker now tied for the lead with 18 points, and the Dolphins' lead is 19 with 3:32 remaining in the second half. Western New England feeding the ball inside to Young. Her layup is up, no good. Another miss by the Golden Bears. Flecker controls the rebound to Passatoro inside to Price, whose layup is up, no good. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it will remain Dolphin basketball with 3:19 remaining, and the Dolphins with a 19-point lead, Mike. I think we've officially entered garbage time here at the Sports and Recreation Center.
We've gotten to that point, Mike, and more importantly, 30 seconds on the shot clock. Although they do take the open shot right there, and they will get some second chance points, but you're absolutely right. The Dolphins right now looking at a blowout win.
Dolphins miss a couple of shots there as the ball comes down to Nyland. Her jumper is up, no good, and Passatoro controls the rebound for the Dolphins. Passatoro angling the ball out over to the side, inside of 3 minutes remaining, and they get the ball into the hands of Victoria Cray. Cray with the basketball. Cray driving inside. We're going to have a whistle and a foul called out on the outside. And I believe that's going to be called on Zirkle. That's going to be her first, team's fourth. So the Dolphins will get to inbound with a fresh 30-second shot clock. Passatoro, a beautiful feed inside to Flecker. Her layup is up, though, and no good. And the Golden Bears control the rebound.
And I'll say this, I'm excited to see where this women's basketball team can go for the rest of the season, because their starting five, their veteran players, they play smart basketball, they play aggressive basketball, and that's going to serve them well, not just in non-conference games, but also in the Kuniak. And when that schedule begins towards December, this is going to be a really scary team here in the Kuniak. Now, we don't know what the other teams are going to look like Brooklyn, Meg Rivers, what have you, but Dolphins look like they could be a scary group here in 2016-17.
Passatoro with the basketball as she angles the ball out, and the Dolphins continue to run down the clock now with 8 seconds on the shot clock, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Auburn. So the worst of all worlds that time for Western New England. They allowed the Dolphins to run the shot clock inside of 5 and then commit the foul.
And that's when you're not having your kind of afternoon if you're Western New England. And for them, let's just look at their schedule. They take on Worcester State on Tuesday and Salve Regina on Wednesday, so they're going to have a long road trip here to end the month.
And it looks like the CSI Dolphins might play tough on the road, but are going to fall short once again.
Yeah, 84-78. 4 seconds to go, but looks like they'll be down to 0-2 to start the season.
So they'll be back in action this Tuesday for their home opener here at the CSI Sports and Recreation Center. We'll have both the men's and women's game for you right here, of course, on CSI Sportsnet, as the women will even their record at 1-1 here this afternoon as the ball goes ahead of the field to Passatoro, who misses the open layup, and the Golden Bears control the rebound, feeding the ball ahead and laying the ball up and in for Western New England will be Carlson. But, at this point, Mike, all that's in doubt is the final score.
Pretty much, and that's for the Dolphins. You just want to finish off these last 90 seconds playing well. Dolphins keeping their veteran players in the game here all the way to the end.
Cray with the basketball now for the Dolphins as the Dolphins winding the shot clock down inside of 6 seconds remaining. Trey behind the back dribble. Sorry, Mike. She feeds the ball inside, and Flecker lays it up and in. And great way for the Dolphins to get a basket, working the clock at the end of the game.
Absolutely. I like this decision here to keep the veterans in. Let them work it at the end of the game as they try to get acclimated here to this new season. And what a start here to this year for this ball club.
Zirkle with the basketball. Her shot is no good, and Passatoro controls the rebound now for the Dolphins. And she'll bring the ball out as the Dolphins will run the shot clock down. And, Mike, the Dolphins were struggling at halftime. It was 25-25, but a third quarter where the Dolphins outscored Western New England by a total of 29-12 as Passatoro will be tripped and go to the floor. Really spelled the difference here in this game as Dolphins played with a lot of confidence, came out strong in the second half, and that's propelled them to a 20-point lead here with just 27 seconds remaining.
And again, Angelique Price playing a big role in all of that. I mean, she had a tremendous day, 18 points. She was knocking down threes. She was knocking down jump shots. She was feeding the ball to some of her teammates to start to get some offense going. And not only that, playing very aggressive defensively. And aggressive is the name of the game here in this game for this one here. We look back at this win for the Dolphins here against the Golden Bears.
And, Mike, the Dolphins are going to be undersized against almost every team that they play. And they've shown in these last couple of games against both Wagner and Western New England that they have the ability to play and rebound the basketball with teams that are physically bigger than they are. As Passatoro's second free throw is up and in. Shot clock is off. 27 seconds remaining in the game. Dolphins with a 21-point lead. Farrell with the basketball. Farrell feeds the ball up over to Gilhool. Gilhool works the ball up over to Farrell, whose jumper is up and in. So the Dolphins held Western New England to 25 points in the first half and 24 points in the second half, Mike. And that kind of defense is going to win you a lot of games as Passatoro has the basketball, and that's going to do it. The College of Staten Island will even their record at 1-1 as they win their 2016 home opener by a final score of 68-49.
Tremendous effort here by the Dolphins. Really a complete team performance throughout that second half after a very rough first half, and an important win and a great win for the Dolphins as they take care of business 68-49. 20 points for Flecker, 18 points for Price, 15 for Passatoro. What a game here for the Dolphins.
As the College of Staten Island winning this game by a final score of 68-49, and we're very pleased to be joined by Angelique Price. And Angelique, first of all, congratulations on your first win in 2016.
Thank you so much.
You guys had such a tough loss against Wagner earlier in the week. You went into their gym, you played a Division I team, and you guys played them really to a draw the whole way, leading in the final minute. How did you guys feel after that game?
After the game, we felt we just needed to work hard. We worked hard in practice, we listened to coach, and we just play as a team.
And, Angelique, to come back here this afternoon against a physically large Western New England team, you guys struggled a little bit offensively in the first half, but really came out in the third quarter and dominated.
Thank you.
So, Angelique, as we go forward this year, a lot of changes from last year's team, a lot of new players coming in. How do you guys feel as you get ready for Tuesday night's matchup?
We feel confident because Coach always makes sure that we're ready for every game that we play. So we practice hard, we work as a team, and we just keep each other focused on our goal is to win.
And Angelique, one of the things that this Dolphin team struggled with over the years has been rebounding the basketball, but both in the game against Wagner and here this afternoon, you actually out-rebounded Western New England by 9 here this afternoon, and that really shows a lot of effort on everybody on the team.
Thank you.
Angelique, thank you so much for joining us, and we're really looking forward to having you on much more over the course of the season.
Thank you.
That's Angelique Price, who was nice enough, Mike, to join us here this afternoon as the College of Staten Island wins by a final score of 68-49. And, Mike, as we mentioned, Dolphins struggling at halftime, but really came out with a big push in the second half.
Came out with a big push in the second half, and whatever Tim Shanahan said to that team at half, I think it was, let's pick it up aggressively offensively, let's get some open shots and create some open looks for our players, and that's what they did in that third quarter. And it was just really smooth to watch by the Dolphins in that second half. They played aggressively. They got those open jump shots. The three-pointers they hit 3 3-pointers to start that third quarter, and that really got them rolling. We talk about Angelique Price, what she did. Let's not forget what Flecker did, getting a couple of big 3-pointers to start that second half, because that played a big role as well. Really, as I said a moment ago, a complete team performance by this entire CSI team, and they get a big win against what is a very good Golden Bears team. And I know they kept their top players, Paige Young and Emily Anderson, in check really for the most part throughout this game today, but let's make no mistake, Western New England's a good team, and the Dolphins handle them pretty well.
So 4 players finish in double figures for the Dolphins. Flecker leads the Dolphins with 20 points, 18 for Price, 15 for Passatoro, and 10 points for Jackie Callie off the bench. But, Mike, I think the big statistic was in the second half, the Dolphins turned the ball over just 6 times and able to out-rebound Western New England by a final total of 52-41, including out-rebounding them 20-11 on the offensive end.
A tremendous day for the Dolphins, and we talk about, again, turnovers 23-4, fast break 8-6. Really, complete performance for the Dolphins. Looking forward to seeing what this team can do as we move along through this season. I think CSI fans better get used to seeing a really good, really competitive women's basketball team here at the CSI Sports and Recreation Center throughout this entire season.
And Mike, we haven't really had an opportunity to see the CSI men's basketball team here at home yet in 2016, but we will have an opportunity to see them Tuesday night against Yeshiva University. But first we'll see the women against St. Joe's Brooklyn as Mike, the Dolphins look to go 2-0 here at the Sports and Recreation Center. So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI Sports and Recreation Center. For Michael Cohn, this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us next Tuesday night at 5:45 pregame show as the CSI women will take on St. Joe's Brooklyn, followed by the men's game as they will take on Yeshiva University. So for Michael Cohn, this is Mike Babusky, Meshach Alexander. Good buddy Joe Foreman up on the camera saying thanks for watching. Join us next Tuesday night as we get ready as the CSI Dolphins will be in doubleheader action. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday.